So before we listen to the Dharma sharing, I'd like to invite everyone to listen to the bell. And when you hear the bell, you can just relax, observe your breathing, and invite your mind back to your body right in this moment. So please listen to the bell and be aware of your breathing. Listen to the bell. I invite my mind back to my body because I understand that only when the mind is with the body, there will be true love for me and for people I love. My mind has a nature to be a wanderer, always wandering to the past or thinking about the future. I realize that only when my mind is in the present moment do I experience true happiness and joy. I'm aware that only when my mind is calm do my body experience peace, inner peace. I vow to generate more peaceful and calm energy so that I can transfer to my ancestor and my future generations. Thank you for your practice. Now you can open your eyes. So the topic I'd like to share with you all today is about our effort. Whatever we do in our life requires our effort. For example, when you wake up in the morning, some people require tremendous amount of effort to get out of the bed. When you come here, it also requires effort to, wake up early, especially on a Sunday morning, get into your car and drive here. So it requires an effort. So if you think your effort is too small to make a difference, try spending a night with a mosquito. You will see how a small effort can have big impact on you. So the spiritual practice that we engage has many purposes, but one of the purposes that we try to accomplish is to transform our suffering and to generate peace internally. So there was a student of the Buddha during his time, and the student was very eager to practice. Whenever he received a meditation method, he would immediately put into practice. And he tried very hard to kind of accomplish that practice so that he would receive higher meditation practice. However, his effort didn't correspond to the result that he desired. So the more he tried, the worse he became in terms of mentality and spirituality. So he decided to quit his path. He didn't want to practice anymore because it didn't bring any fruits, any spiritual fruits. So one day the Buddha knew that this one was going to quit. The Buddha came to see him, and because this student happened to be a guitar or a player of an instrument, string instrument, similar to the guitar, and the Buddha asked two questions. The first one, what happens if the strings are loose? So the student said the sound would not be nice and it wouldn't make the correct sound. And the second question was, what happens if if the strings are too tight? And the student said it would be broken easily. It wouldn't produce good sound. The Buddha said, similarly, when you practice meditation, you don't try too hard to the point, of self-modification, or you don't just, be lazy in practice. So be moderate in your practice. Take into consideration different factors like your health, your mental state, and your current living conditions. So take those elements into your consideration, and then you come up with a plan for you. So realize that the student took his advice and then, approach the practice with a better trajectory, and he achieved his desired fruits of practice. So the Buddha gave us 4 methods of how to consider a appropriate effort in our way, in our path of transforming suffering and generating happiness. So the first one, the suffering that has not arisen in you, you shouldn't put conditions for them to arise. So each of us has all kinds of bad seeds. If the conditions are enough, then those bad seeds will sprout, and we will be the one who bear the fruits of those bad seeds. People who are addicts, before they was an addict, they were just like us. It was because they didn't have any way to overcome their overwhelming suffering. That's why they had to choose temporary release for their problems. And those temporary methods of relief were the cause of their more suffering. We all have that seed of addiction in us, but luckily we have different methods. We use different methods to help us overcome our bad seeds. So understand that when when you have to help people with addiction, tell them, ask them to tell you about their suffering, not their addiction. Because deep down, they are just like us. They want happiness. They want to avoid suffering, but they have no other way to overcome the suffering. That's why the circle of addiction just, continues. So in order to prevent us from cultivating bad seeds, we have to ask ourselves, am I not suffering enough? So if you are already suffering enough, then you wouldn't want to acquire more suffering due to your unmindful behaviors. So the second thing is that suffering that has arisen is easier for us to observe in ourselves and in others. If you don't know how to observe, just try to talk with someone who is suffering. You will immediately understand what I'm saying. So in Buddhism, there's a belief that birth, old age, sickness, and death are suffering. But those are just our manifestation of life. How we react to those phenomena could generate suffering or happiness. For example, when you wake up and you see you have some gray hair or sprinkle eyes or old age appearance, you should be happy because you have lived long enough to experience old age. Many people didn't make it to 50 or 60. You have gray hair means that you're old, and you should be happy about that because you have lived a long life. If you are right now in some kind of suffering or anxiety, there are two questions you can ask yourself as the first step for you to walk on the path of transformation. The first one, do I have to suffer like this? And the second one, what is the one thing that I can do to help me overcome this suffering? What is that one thing that I can do? So ask yourself these two questions every day. It can help you transform your suffering. So there's a man who went to the Buddha offering him flowers. He held two lotus on his two hands. So when the Buddha saw him, the Buddha said, "Let go." The first one, the man let go of his right hand, and then the Buddha said, "Let go." The man let go of the left hand. So the two lotus dropped on the ground, and the Buddha keeps saying, "Let go." The man didn't understand. The man asked, "I already let go the two lotus in my hand. I don't have anything else to let go." And the Buddha said, "What I want you to let go is your your defilements, your greed, your hatred, and your illusion. You should let go of those in order to, embrace joy and happiness. Otherwise, if you hold on to those unwholesome mental formations, then you can never hold on to anything else. So for example, if you hold on to a relationship that drains your energy, sometimes letting go is the best solution for you and for that relationship. So a cup of lemonade is great for us right now in this weather, but then 10 cups becomes suffering, right? So you don't want to drink 10 cups of lemonade. Similarly, a little bit of suffering is good. Too much suffering is not healthy. So sometimes when you are not suffering too much, you take that chance to transform those small suffering and makes it your stepstone for your happiness. It's like it's only when you are hungry does the food taste good. If you're always full, then you wouldn't want to eat anything. So a small amount of suffering is great for our mental development. The third one, happiness and joy that has not arisen, you cultivate, you manifest it, make it appear. So there's a student who lived and practiced with his teachers for a long time and didn't achieve anything. He asked his teacher to let him go to the mountain to, practice for final enlightenment. And the teacher let him go. On the way to the mountain, he saw an old man who carried a bundle of wood walking down from the mountain, and saw that man with some kind of radiance around, himself. The man asked, "What is the path to transformation?" And the old man, put down his bundle, look at the guy, and the guy suddenly burst into happiness. He said, "That's it? Just let go of your burden, let go of your suffering. That's easy. I can do that." And then the man was very happy. After a while, the man became sad again. He said, "So what now? After you let go of those suffering, what now?" The old man didn't know anything, He was tired. He just wanted to live his life. He carried the bundle again to walk into the village. And when the man saw the old man carry the bundle of wood, he again burst into happiness. He said, "Oh, I realize now. So when you are enlightened, you are awakened. You just go into the village to help others." So whenever your mind is occupied by something, you will only see that in your life. So better occupy your mind with happiness, because happy conditions are all around us. If you turn and look, you see happiness around you and in you. If right now you take a piece of paper and write down those conditions, I think you can write a lot. Like, I have a healthy body, I have a family, I have food, I have a safe place, I have a car. Those conditions can be happy conditions for you. So the happiness that has not arisen should be cultivated, should be manifest for them to arise in you. So the last one, we should cultivate our present happiness so that it becomes bigger. When it becomes bigger, it can carry a lot of suffering for yourself and for others. Like you have a big boat, you can carry a big boulder. If you don't have a boat, even your suffering is small, it will sink like a needle. If your suffering is like a boulder, then your happiness should be like a big boat that can carry that boulder, So it is easy for you to cultivate more happiness. Look around. If now you are experiencing happiness, then spread that happiness to others. Generate, light the candle, light the light of happiness in other people. That's how you can keep your happiness more strong and always make it, bigger. So we are our own life painter. We paint our picture of life. We have dark color and also bright color. Try to mix them. Try to use more beautiful color, but also, sometimes a little bit of here and there of dark color. Those dark color are your suffering, and those can make your life, your painting more beautiful. You don't have to be always, be beautiful color. You want to highlight beautiful colors, you need those dark colors.